Welcome, everyone. I want to wait a second or so until we get everybody in the room, but I just want to welcome you to all a Instagram Live edition of Vinny Presents. So I'll give you a few minutes, as I said, and then very soon we'll be introducing our guest, which is actor, producer James Madio. Guys, we're in for a real treat tonight on this Tuesday night. What's up, Chop Boss, my man? How you doing? Hi, how are you, Rocky? Hello. Rocky's Jen. What's up? Jen. What's up? Mike, I see you. Forte, how you doing, buddy? Giuseppe, come stai? So, guys, hang in there for a few minutes. Soon we'll be having our guest jump in. James Madio is going to be here. We're going to have a great time talking about his upcoming movie. A lot of other good stuff going on. Mike Keller, what's going on? How we doing, guys? And stay tuned because at the end, we're going to get some questions in. So you might have the opportunity to ask James a direct question, and that'll be a lot of fun. So how's everybody doing? What's up, Mikey Forte? What's up, buddy? Hey, my man, Rob. How you doing? Mozzarella Boss. Good to see you. We got to connect. I know I keep saying it. But hang out a minute or two. We're going to have our buddy James Madio jumping in. Let me just hold on one second, guys. Hold on just a minute. Boss, you know each other? Of course you do. Michael DeArmy, how we doing, my brother? Sorry I missed you last time. I got to come up. I'm due up to New York again, probably about a month. Crystal, very good. Yes, South Philly, born and raised. City of brotherly love, as they call it. So hang out. A few more minutes. James is going to be with us. I mean, tremendous actor and producer. You're going to love to hear from him. It's going to be a lot of fun. In the meantime, tell me where you're watching from. I appreciate the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're by chance, if you're not following me, please do. And then also when James comes on, we'll ask you to do the same for him. You know, I'd love to, Rob. I'd love to get down there Saturday night. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, though. I'd love to go see our mutual friend down there. But I don't know. It might be a little bit of a long shot this weekend. Everybody's sick in the house. It's tough. And where are we right? All right, let's see here. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, hold on one second. All righty then. All right, so I want to see if we can get James to jump in. Just hanging in with me, guys. All right, Mike, sounds good, brother. Sounds good. Definitely, we got to catch up. You're going to be watching from Mozzarella Boy headquarters. What's up, Joey DiPotato? Awesome, from Atlanta. Awesome. Thank you, man, for joining in. Just give me a minute. Now, James, if you're watching, I think I sent you an invite. I'm going to go ahead and do it again. Just let me see. Let's see if you get it. And then maybe hopefully that allows you to jump on. If you're doing it, James, if you're doing it from your phone, it should be fine. If you're doing it from a computer, sometimes there's trouble. I don't know. Oh, wait, there you go. What's up, James? There you go. I see you, buddy. James, I did send you an invite. See if it pops up and just accept. Mirabella, how you doing? Good to see you. Marco, my friend, thank you always for supporting us. I appreciate it, Marco Orlana. Mel, how are you, Mel? Good to see you, dear. Good to see you. Always a pleasure. Thanks for always supporting me. I appreciate it. Ryan Phillips, how you doing, buddy? All right. Guys, I appreciate you being on here. I'm going to try to get the waves in. I apologize if I don't get everybody because this thing's going so fast with all the different people. All right, James, I'm going to send you, I should have sent you a request or an invite, actually. So let's see if that worked. All right, James, I just sent you another invite. See if it pops up on your screen. If it doesn't, oh, there you go. Boom. How are you, James?
I'm doing good, man. Just trying to figure out this way to be tech savvy, man. But I figured it out. I did it.
And just as you figure things out, they go ahead and change things. You know how that goes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let me give you a proper introduction. So, again, everyone who's here, I appreciate joining us on a Tuesday night live edition of Vinny Presents. And tonight, he is an actor. He's a producer. He's produced over a dozen different films. Been in a ton of different movies and films. You might remember him from Band of Brothers, of course, Basketball Diaries, Hook, and we're going back a few years. And most recently, he plays Guillermo Papaleo, otherwise known as Willie Pep, in this new great movie project he has, The Featherweight. We have James Madio. James, thanks for joining us.
All right, thanks for having me, Vin. Appreciate this, man. And yeah, I saw someone said, no, this is not vodka. This is just some 4-bet orange juice and water.
As you said, you got an early flight, so you're definitely not doing that.
I do.
And
I
I
do.
appreciate, by the way, that you're staying up, hanging out with us. And I know you got up really early, so I don't want to keep you. But again, anyone who's watching, please, immediately, before you tune out, and hopefully you won't, make sure you follow James right away and go on his Instagram. Make sure you hit the follow button. And stick around to the end. We'll take some questions, and maybe James can answer one of your questions.
Absolutely.
With that being the case, thanks again for being here, James. Tell us how you got started in the business, and then we'll get to featherweight.
Oh, wow. How I got started. Well, I grew up in the Bronx, New York, and I guess, sports outgrew me a little bit. So my father, one of his friends was dating a woman who lived in the city who represented kids, like child actors, and her name was Sue Schachter. And I went and I read for her. I guess my father's friend said, hey, go send him downtown, let him go meet Sue, maybe the kid can act. And that's what happened. I went up, I read a Welch's jam grape and jelly commercial for her, and then she said, don't call me, I'll call you. And then about 2 months later, she said, I have an audition for you for a movie called Hook. And I didn't know anything about like audition or what the movie was about or anything like that. I just knew that Spielberg did Jaws and Robin Williams was Popeye, and that excited me. And I went on the audition, and before I knew it, I was in California with my father filming Hook, and then that's how we got started.
How old were you at that point?
I was like 13, 14. I looked like I was like 7, but I was like 13, 14. Yeah, and then I did a movie called Hero with Dustin Hoffman, where I played his kid, and that was with Andy Garcia, Gina Davis, and a few other great actors and actresses. And then the Basketball Diaries sort of wave, went through that indie thing with Mark and Leo, some television, and then Band of Brothers. Geez, man, I'm old. I've been doing this a long time. And then another wave of up and downs, then The Offer, and some great movies, some great independent films, and now the Featherweight and the Penguin. So
big fan of definitely a big fan of indie movies. Also a big fan of that era back then during Hook. I mean, that was a great period of time for movies, and and growing up. We're around the same age, but growing up around that time period, really really good movies.
Yeah, I remember that set, man. The set of Hook. Well, they don't make sets like that anymore, but there was just a huge Neverland set that took up the entire stage, and another stage at a big pirate ship that they brought water in and just put a big pool in around the entire stage and put this huge pirate ship through 300 pirates on it. And I mean, just all the Lost Boys, just amazing. It really was amazing. I mean, everybody came to see that set. Everybody, all stars came to visit it with their kids, just to, because they were in awe of it. Really, really spectacular.
Now that's all accomplished through computer graphics and everything. Now they're not
different now,
they're
right?
not doing that kind of thing.
No.
So all right, we're going to jump ahead a little bit because I want to talk about featherweight. This is really something that's exciting.
Man, I can listen. My kids are sleeping. I'm good. Jump ahead.
I still hear mine's upstairs, and if I told them I was with the guy from Hook, they might do somersaults.
Right, they come down.
They love that movie. But in featherweight, so now you're alongside with Ruby Wolf, Keir Gilchrist, and two of my favorites. So you got Jeremy Luke, and then my old buddy from who I used to work with in L.A., Gino Caffarelli. So tell us about the featherweight.
Oh yeah, well, I mean Gino and Jeremy Luke, good friends of mine. I was actually just texting with both of them. They have this great short film coming out that Gino put together. So know them a very, very, very long time. And when you're doing a film like this, you just want the faces, you want authenticity, you want just no false moments on that screen, because the way we shot it was sort of this faux docudrama approach. Like, these are people on the street that you see. You don't really want the crazy familiar faces or people overacting, and those guys are some of the truest actors around. I just love working with them, and I've worked with both of them. So but the featherweight is a passion project that I've been trying to get made for well over a decade now, let's say. And it first started when my buddy Steve Loft, who was the producer on this, and my producing partner is also the writer. He walked into my apartment. Well, not my apartment. I was living with Ron Livingston at the time, who plays my manager in this, and he played Lieutenant Nixon in Band of Brothers, among many other things. And I was living in his guest house in L.A., And my father called me. He must have been worried about my career. And he said, hey, Jimmy boy, there's this fighter, Willie Pep. You should look him up. I was like, look, Dad, I'm trying to get, I'm busy. I got a lot of things I'm trying to get made and, get off the shelf and pitching things. And he said, just look the guy up. I was like, all right, Dad, I'll look the guy up. And I look him up and I realized that he looked like me. We had an uncanny resemblance. Same size, Italian-American, East Coast, came from the streets a little bit. I was like, all right, this is interesting. And then I dug deeper into his story, learning that he was champion of the world, owned all the records for the most fights. He had 6 wives. He broke his back in a plane crash when he was champion and came back and won another 100 fights. He once won a boxing round without throwing a punch because he was such a defensive genius. So all these things sort of added up as far as the accolades. But then going deep into who he was, like pulling that curtain behind and seeing who really was behind that curtain, I just found him fascinating. So we developed it over these years, and it took so long. Finally, when we got greenlit after like 10 years, Vinny, we got shut down because of COVID, which was terrible. We just opened up the offices in Hartford, Connecticut. That's where Willie was from. And, we were all brokenhearted, but we kept our spirits up. And then, we had the strike and just all these setbacks. But we got it done. We finally got it done. We had an amazing cast, an amazing director, Robert Kolodny, and producers with Bennett Elliott, like you said, Ruby Wolf, and Robert Greene, but premiered at Venice. It's wonderful, man. So, we're on this ride, everybody. We opened up in theaters in New York City at the Quad. I think we got maybe 13 to 15 in Connecticut, in the statewide, which is, pretty good theatrical. And then in LA, we're at the Lamley in Santa Monica. So we opened Friday, the Lamley in Santa Monica. So, it's doing good.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's a lot of theaters. That's great.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So, and of course, people that may not know, things sometimes take years, even decades or more to develop. You hear about some of these stories, like, how could that be possible? But sure, sometimes it does take that long. Even some of the greatest producers, they just have to find that right timing. And of course, like you said, with the strike and COVID, it just sidelined so many different projects. Actually killed a few too, sadly to say.
Yeah, it absolutely did. But we kept punching. One of Willie's mottos was keep punching, keep punching. He was signing his autographs, keep punching. So we just always, at the end of every email, every text, no matter if it was bad news or good news, keep punching, keep punching. And it just stuck with you. We weren't going to give up. And we didn't.
Well, and I think there's also, I'm starting to notice a bit of nostalgia too when it comes to a lot of those things from, we talk a lot about the 80s. But also back in the 40s and the 50s, there's a nostalgia for that time, that period of time where it was a different America, it was a different time. You had the immigrant experience, you had a lot of heroic stories, and people are really, I think that's something that most people are always hungry for is that heroic, sort of a Rocky story, better, for lack of better words.
Yeah, exactly. And we touch on that. This is a kid from the streets. And like I said, sports outgrew him. He was bullied. He was shining shoes. And then he was picked on. And, he had a fight. And supposedly a few guys across the street saw him fighting on the corner like every other day with other kids who wanted to take his shoe shine stand. And the guy grabbed him and he said, come here, let me talk to you. And it was an Italian guy. And he said, go to the gym over here. Go see so-and-so. And, go fight with your hands to go make a couple of bucks. And he did. And his father was working. And his father was a Sicilian immigrant. And Willie started to fight 2-3 times a day and started making money and hiding it. And when his father found it, he thought he was going to get in trouble. And I was like, hey, where did you get this money? And told him where he got it. And his father said, well, you keep fighting. So that's what it is. He fought to provide for his family at that time. So it was the right thing to do, what he had to do. But I think, to his demise, all the fighting, all the accolades, and how special he was, and all the traveling and just becoming the youngest featherweight champion of the world at that time, put him in a lot of trouble. I say this all the time. I sound like a broken record on all these sort of interviews that I'm doing. But Willie was a tremendous winner inside the ring. 229 wins against 11 losses. At one point, he was 135-1. This man fought 3 times a month for 3 decades, 15 rounds, and he won 15 rounds. He wasn't a knockout guy. He's a defensive guy. And so he's a winner inside the ring, but outside the ring, where our movie captures him, where we fall upon him, is 1965. It's his comeback. which in 1965 was a New York Times top 10 human interest story. It was Willie Pep's comeback. He was that popular. But he had to come back because we fall upon him in 1965, got no money. He's living with his mother in his childhood home again. He's on his fourth wife, who's 20 years old. His son's on drugs. His father's not doing well with his health. He has no relationship with his kid. So, the only thing he knows how to do is get back in the ring because everything outside the ring is failing. So he wants to go win. He wants that fame. He needs to go make money. Look, he doesn't come back when he's 42 years old and fight champions again. He fights washed up fighters, 4 to 6 rounders, but at least he's fighting again. That's what he wanted to do. So he came back after retirement and came back in 1965 and he went 9-1. So he went 9-1.
It's amazing.
Crazy.
Real quick, I'm just noticing. So, just want to say hi to my buddy out there, Frankie Falconeer. He's part of Italian Sicilians Do It Better. He just interviewed Gino, by the way. Gino Caffrey.
Oh, hi.
And then when they asked you, James, if you had to train for this movie, or did you already box?
Yeah. No, well, look, when I was young, I think everybody from the Bronx knew how to throw their hands.
The boogie down Bronx.
Yeah, everybody thought you heat bag or a heavy bag, or when he slept over, you put on a box that doesn't beat the shit out of each other. Every kid in the Bronx did that. It's where you learned. There was Morris Park boxing gym that I popped into a little bit. I got my ass whipped one day by my own buddy, Irish kid, and I didn't see his left coming. He knocked me on my ass, and I went home. My mother was like, "I think you should stop boxing. You're gonna get ugly." And but I always liked to box. I always go with my. But yeah, I put a speed bag in my garage over the years and jumped rope quite a bit, did some road work, all the things that I could control until we got funded and I could actually train, which then I went to Hartford, Connecticut, where Willie was from, and I trained at a gym called COBA, the Charter Oak Boxing Gym, with John Ice Scully, great guy, great fighter. So I trained over there and tried to know the people, know the way of Willie, because everybody out there had a story about Willie. I'd go to the same gyms he went to, eat at the places that he frequented. I would jog where he jogged. Anything to do that I can get into Willie's mindset and feel his presence. So
you did what all great actors do. You really became you became the persona.
You
basically got in the shoes.
Right. I'm sorry, but I don't mean to interrupt you. I don't think I had a choice because we shot in Hartford. And I was so close to this character over the years, and I watched so much footage of him in boxing, and then also interviews about him. And then to shoot in his hometown, there was a lot of pressure, good pressure that you want, but a lot of pressure that's going to test you in every way. Locals know him. Everybody stops you on the street. You're making the Willie Pep movie. You look like Willie. Do you know how to fight like Willie? Did you know what Willie ate? You know where his barber was? You know what he drank? You know what coffee he liked? How he liked his espresso? Here's how he shook my hand. So all these little quirks you learned being there. And the icing on the cake was his wife, his last wife, came to set. Fiery redheaded girl, and she came to set. And she looked at me, and I've spoken to her a few times and met with her actually. But when I was in hair, makeup, wardrobe, I got the perm, they put the scars on, they did the ears, they did the nose, and they did the wardrobe from the 1960s. And I see her and I'm like, oh man, I hope she likes me. And she did. She did. She kind of looked at me and said, "You look like my Willie. You look like my Willie." And I was like, "Thank you so much. That means the world to me." So I don't know. It was one of these things where he was with me for so long, Vin. I don't think I could have messed this up. I found it very difficult to detach myself from him. Like, I don't want to look at a damn speed bag. I don't want to look at a jump rope because I've been trying to do this thing for 10, 12 years. So I'm trying to keep my shape, trying to keep in shape. How many times we were lit and green lit. We had this director, this producer, this money, not this money. So many different things over 12 years. You try to just keep your focus and try and stay focused. Not to use the boxing terms, but this was a 12-round bout, and every round being a year. So, but we found the right people, and it all came together.
I have a question saying, did James ever audition for a Bronx Tale?
Oh, I did. Who's asking that question?
Mike Keller?
Mike. All right, that's a good question, Mike. So I don't really tell this story often, but it's a good one. I was supposed to do Chaz's podcast. I was going to wait for this, wait for Chaz's podcast. But you know what, Ben? You came.
He's going to have a really tough time beating us.
Yeah. So I was shooting Hook. This is a true story. I was shooting Hook, and Robin Williams, I guess he was really good friends with De Niro from Awakenings. And like I said, everybody the set to see the set. The sets were so grand. We had Prince, we had Will Smith, we had Madonna. Like everybody came to see the set. Willis, Michael Jackson, they all came to see the set on a daily basis. They would sign the book. So Robin Williams grabs me and my father, and he said, "Hey, Gerard, I want Jimmy Boy to meet a friend of mine who's doing a movie about the Bronx. Oh, he's coming to set." And we didn't know who he's talking about, And all of a sudden, now I didn't really, my father almost dropped on the floor, but, he played it cool. I don't really know who he is. I'm a 13-year-old kid. I mean, maybe I know him, but from my father's reaction, everybody's reaction, I can tell he was somebody. And he introduced me to De Niro, and he called him Bob. And I was like, "Hey, how are you, Bob?" And Robin Williams going, "Yeah, this is the Bronx word I was talking about. This could be great for you, movie. The Bronx word. Hey, start saying a few words." And I'm like talking to him, and like the way I'm speaking to him. And De Niro's doing, he's looking me up and down, looking at my father. He's doing this. Yeah, he's good. The kids, whatever. And then we get a call, that hey, they want you to audition. I was like, this is fantastic. Imagine going straight to a movie off Hero, off Hook with Robert De Niro. And I auditioned, and then they got back to me and they said, "We got bad news. You are too old for the young part, and you're too young for the older part. Or you look too young for the older part." But it worked out for them. I mean, Lilo and Claude, they were great. Both those, Francis and Claude, they were fantastic in that. And the movie went on to do great, great things. But yeah, I did audition for Bronx Tale. Thanks for reminding me some more rejection that I faced in this industry.
That would have been a short ride home, right? Well, we shot in Queens anyway, but it would have been a short ride back to the Bronx.
Yeah, exactly.
Ask him to beat up his brother after all that training. Says Angelo Madio. I guess it's a relative.
That's obviously that's my big little brother. He's twice my size. I can still.
So okay, now let's start.
So the live works where like everybody can see now. Everybody on my feed sees this.
Both of our feeds, yeah.
Oh,
so
nice.
Let me take the opportunity again for those that weren't here earlier. Make sure, please, that you please follow James and please support him. All right, and then after we're done with this live, I'll upload it so that it's there permanently on Instagram, as well as then I'll put it up on YouTube, and I'll put it on TikTok and all the other places. So, but it's important to please follow James, and if anybody wants to follow me, I'm here. So, but now let's dial it back just a little bit.
All right.
Let's cover a little bit of the period briefly between you as a kid and then you continuing, because a lot of kids, unfortunately, sometimes they don't pursue the business. How was it after Hook and after? I mean, did you get more and more work? Was it kind of periodic? How did it go?
Yeah, it's different. I tell everybody, you have to reinvent yourself in this industry, right? Because you're going from a kid to a young teen, to a teenager, to a young adult, to a man, to a father, to potentially a grandfather. I mean, I'm not there yet. But, you got to reinvent yourself. You have to just keep on reading and challenging yourself with roles, continuing to fall down and get up. But I was blessed. I've had a good group of people around me, always motivated me. I come from a family that keeps me grounded. And to be honest, and I don't know anything else. I didn't know anything else. Like, I don't know what's behind me. I just know what's in front of me. And there were definitely challenging times. There's no doubt about it. I don't think there's an actor out there that would tell you that there's no challenging times, because a lot of times you don't work. 1% of actors, I think, work all the damn time. The others are looking for work, even some of the big ones. So that can wear on you, especially as you get older and you're looking for stability and longevity. And then you have a family and that stability and longevity. And now you want health insurance. So now the red carpets, you don't care about these red carpets anymore. You want to make health insurance for your family. So look, you hang around long enough, you keep your nose clean and you keep your contacts and you stay friends with the right people for the right reasons. And, you could find a place in this business for a while. So like I said, I've been blessed.
Yeah, and I think the recurring theme when I have these type of interviews, and also, I did a little bit of acting myself I'm working on my first short. But the thing is, you know, just stay positive, make the relationships, be professional, you know, no treachery, just try to be a straight arrow. And, you know, if it's meant to be, it's going to happen. But
I'm not saying
not for everybody.
I'm not saying that I've like not hit a wall and you know had my days. I mean, a lot of people know me long enough to where I've hit that wall. I don't want to hit that wall again. I don't want to go there again. So I try and stay as focused as possible.
Just had a question. Will the Featherweight hit any theaters in the Midwest?
I hope so. So right now we're in a few theaters, and depending on how that trends and how we can fill these seats up, then I guess it expands and it can go to different theaters. But right now we sold out the Quad in New York City for a little while, and we got extended an extra week there. A few theaters in Connecticut we got extended, and the Lamley in Santa Monica we're close to selling out as well for the first few days. So yeah, it's a good thing. But hopefully, yeah, we come to the Midwest. That's the game plan, to get further theatrical release and then potentially a streaming partner, a big stream.
Ryan Phillips says, great show. Thank you very much. Ryan, he also asks, what about Canada?
What about who?
What about Canada?
Oh, Canada. Yeah, I mean, that would be foreign. That's like the next place to go. We just get foreign distribution. Literally just had that email today. So we're early in the stages of all of that. I'm learning about that as well as I go because I'm a producer on this. So I'm just a student to the distribution thing and all of that, which is fun to learn at this stage of my career.
And here's a little pro tip I'm sure that James would agree with. If you're going to do a distribution deal, check the fine print.
Yeah, right. I put my glasses on.
Could be tricky. It's not as easy as you think out there making movies.
No, it's not. There's a lot of personalities in different phases that you go through, and you recognize that, and you have to be patient. And the Featherweight definitely taught me that going forward, that each different level, you meet new people, and new people have different obligations and different commitments and different wants and needs, and at all the levels. You're talking about sales agent, distributions, all of that. So it changes quite a bit, for me at least. So yes, I'm still a student to it all.
Guys, just throw up some more questions as they come. I have one more question too. Now, as far as getting theatrical release, let's say someone's watching this from Midwest or somewhere in like Montana, whatever. Is there a way that people can kind of appeal to our local theaters to carry it? Is there a way like the average community can, like Italian community somewhere in Texas or whatever, can say, hey, listen, we want to see this movie? Is there any way they can get it part of the process, to be part of the process?
Yeah, that's actually a great question, because I had asked that question. I tried to get it out to, we're still trying to get it out to like the bigger markets like Chicago, Cleveland, here in Cleveland that has a huge boxing community, Vegas, that's where a lot of fighters live. So yeah, that's still wide open. This is the first week of our opening. So this week really is going to tell a lot of what our distributors, our sales agent, and our release plan is going to be. Even if it does fine and great, we don't go any further, it'll be probably quickly on one of the bigger streaming platforms, because we went theatrical, and because we went to Venice. So I think we're all confident that it's going to do well no matter what.
Right. Any tips, any words of wisdom maybe to the young actor, actress out there that, that wants to follow in your footsteps as far as being an accomplished actor, producer?
Yeah, there's actually a few things. One I would say is get a mentor who's going to be honest. You're going to need that. You're going to need a mentor that's going to be honest, going to tell you what you got, when you got it, and if you don't got it. And that could really, truly help you or motivate you. You're going to have to really know what rejection is. So get ready to fall down and get back up. And by that, I mean, get on a stage. Go on a stage. Get in a theater club. Get around people that do what you do, that can motivate you and lift you up. Don't stay around people that are going to go, never going to happen. Forget about it. You know how hard it is to be. Don't do that. Don't be around that. Get in a theater company. Get on that stage. Go work. Put the work in. Try new things. Fall down, get up. I say it to everybody. That's kind of what it's about. And get a circle of people that are going to lift you, that are going to force you to come correct in certain terms. So that's my advice.
Yeah, I actually, growing up, I was always scared of failure or, or not hitting my mark, as they say. But you know, I embrace it. I still, you know, look, I find it, you know, what happens, I get over it, and it's all how you perceive it, and it's just it's a figment of your imagination. If you're able to overcome, you just grow stronger.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
All right. Well, listen, if anybody else has any more questions, I want to keep James that much longer. I know he's going to get up quite early. But if guys have any more questions, throw them up there. In the meantime, again, make sure you're following James, follow me, and then we're going to go ahead and give the replay of this. Again, will be on here as well as YouTube and on Vinny Presents on YouTube as well as TikTok. You'll find it if you're looking for it. All right. How was it working with Joey Russo?
I love Joey Russo. He's a good buddy of mine. What, in The Offer? Yeah, I've worked with Joey Russo in The Offer. If you guys have seen it, I don't want to give too much away, but we have some great scenes together. And one memorable scene together, you know, Joey was a great actor, very kind, and very patient. We had a really good time working in California on The Offer. Yeah.
One more question. What are you most excited about for the run of the featherweight? What's the most, I guess, what you're most excited about for that?
You know what, Vin, I know this is going to sound like the thing I'm supposed to say, but I really mean this because of all the hard work that everybody put in. I'm so excited for everybody in every single key department and more of all the work that they put into this, whether it's from our director, casting, our writer, producers, grip, electric, anybody, extras, hair, makeup, wardrobe, sound. Want them to just get their due because they are a talented bunch and they are committed. So I'd like to see everybody who's involved in this movie to get their due. And the biggest thing is finally let the world know who Willie Pep is.
Excellent. And someone said, "How was it filming the Penguin?"
Oh, yeah, we're gonna go to the Penguin. You know, that was probably the most secretive sets that I've ever been involved with because it's DC and it's big. You know, it's the Penguin. I'll tell you, that transformation that Colin does is incredible. I've never seen anything like it. That is a true number one on the call sheet. That guy was gracious. He was patient. He was understanding. And he came on set ready to work, knew his work. Didn't keep anybody waiting. Christine Melody is just a force. I mean, everybody. Michael Kelly, that cast is just terrific. I didn't get to kind of see and read and be on set as much to it. So a lot of stuff I'm going to see is actually new to me as well. But just from the first episode and the numbers that the first episode did, I heard they were, you know, through the roof, some of the best they've ever had. I'm looking forward to the rest of the series and to see what Colin and that cast pull out.
Yeah, I was in San Gennaro over the weekend on Saturday, and it was all over the place, man. They're promoting it hard.
Yeah,
it's cool, great.
Yeah, it's really cool, really cool. So
speaking of festivals too, I was at, I think I mentioned this today. I was at Ferragosto up in the Bronx. Morris Park, I think, a little bit farther from Arthur Avenue, but it's not too far, right?
No, not too far.
Beautiful. I love it. And let me tell you something. We stopped in Our Lady of Mount Carmel. We said a little prayer in there. Listen. I know everybody says it. They say it about South Philly. They say it about Brooklyn. They say it about the Bronx. Whatever. No, the neighborhoods aren't the way they used to be. But you know what? You got to bring that spirit to it. You got to revive that spirit.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I try and explain to my wife. It's like, look, I go to the Bronx. I like to walk around the Bronx by myself. I go jog Pelham Bay Park. You know, I was there the other day just, you know, working out in their little outdoor workout area. And, you know, I'm like, this is where I came from. I mean, this is who I am. This rejuvenates me. This grounds me. This is all these memories come back of why I am who I am. You know, I'm reflecting about hanging out in that park with all my friends and, you know, having laughs, having, you know, fun, drinking, getting into fights. I mean, all of that stuff. But, you know, that's just who I am. You're not going to take the Bronx out of me.
One more question that relates to that. So how was it when you were in Connecticut in that neighborhood where Willie Pep was around? Was that still kind of vibrant? There was still that kind of community there?
Yeah, that was the great thing about Hartford. They adopted me. They were great. Everybody just was like, hey, you know, you need holding, you need us to cater. What do you need? We'll give you this room, like everything. It was just amazing. You know, we'll move all these cars. You can park your trucks. They were great. And a lot of this stuff, you know, besides maybe street signs and everything and picture cars, a lot of the aesthetics was the same. The buildings and, you know, maybe some lights, it all kind of looked the same. So we had some good location scouting on there. But yeah, Hartford didn't change as much. And the way we shot it, sort of this really pushed in tight docudrama approach, sort of protected us from seeing the grand outside of everything. So, hopefully you're more focused on this and the performance rather than going, hey man, look at that. That's not a modern day sign in the back, like that sort of stuff.
Well, James, look, again, I appreciate the interview. I think that just like Willie Pep, I think he would be proud of you because you, just like he, had the endurance to keep fighting and keep pushing to realize your dreams. And I think I speak on behalf of everyone that we can't wait to see it. And we're rooting for you. And if I could ever do anything as far as promoting, I'm here for you. And I think this is going. I think it's going to do fabulous.
I'm going to look over. Who's winning my game over there, man? Who's winning my game? I see what's going on.
I can't see from here.
4-1. Yeah, we're losing. You guys are looking good, man. You're Philly, Eagles. You took my Barkley, Saquon. I said, you guys are okay then, Philly.
We got to win once in a while.
Yeah, why not?
Ladies and gentlemen, again, last time, please make sure you're following James. Make sure you follow me, and stay tuned for more. I kindly advise you to continue to support James and all his work. And again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll catch up with you real soon.
Thank you, Ben. Been great, buddy. You have a good one.
Thanks, brother. Have a good night.
All right,
Bye-bye.
thanks. Bye.